Pranam everyone. Today we are going to start reading books in English language on the channel, and we are going to begin with a book called The Absolute Law of Karma, written by our Param Pujya Gurudev Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya. We are going to begin with understanding first what this book is about, and let's begin with the preface. Day 1. The law of divine justice follows a mysterious course. In the world, we come across many instances of virtuous persons undergoing endless suffering and pain. Sinners perpetually enjoying pleasurable lives, indolents achieving success, hard-working persons meeting repeated failures, the wise suffering adversity, fools living in prosperity, egoists held in high esteem, and the righteous held in contempt. We find some persons born with silver spoon in their mouths and others facing misfortune after another throughout their life. The well-known human norms for achieving happiness and success do not always appear to hold good in practical terms. Such phenomena raise many questions and doubts about the role of fate in life, the will of God, and the relationship of virtuous and evil deeds with happiness and unhappiness in life. The rationale given in the ancient literature in this respect does not adequately satisfy the inquisitiveness of modern minds. Consequently, the new generation is becoming more inclined to accept the atheistic ideologies of the West, which regard God and the religion as phantom creations of the sick and fearful minds, the human body merely a chemical combination of inert elements, and denies the very existence of an immortal soul. The new generation is made to believe that there is no supreme being or God, that destiny has no role to play in life, and that only arbitrary man-made state machinery has the powers to dispense punishments and rewards. In the present book, we make an attempt to give rational and logical explanations of the relationship between human deeds and destiny. It explains how events of good fortune and misfortune, happiness and suffering in human life are results of one's own deeds. It is hoped that this booklet will provide satisfactory answers to the queries relating to the role played by the consequences of an individual's deed in the making of his destiny. So here Gurudev is trying to give an introduction of what we can expect in the book ahead. He's trying to establish a foundation of our understanding which should be based on the fundamental law of karma. As we all might know, being Hindu or not Hindu, or being from any other nation or any other culture, caste or creed or religion, there is a fundamental law of nature called the law of karma. Even if we take our today's lives, we see that whatever we do today makes us what we become in the next 2, 3, 5 or 10 years of life. So whatever we sow in life today is what we reap later. Also, the rationale given for this in some scriptures might not feel entirely convincing to especially our younger generation and to a lot of logical minds. Hence, in this book, we'll try to establish more logical explanations between the relationship between human deed and destiny, and why sometimes, despite doing everything good, we end up suffering, or despite doing everything bad, we still end up lucky with a lot of aspects of the physical world. So hope we can contribute to your learning of self-development and also to the learning of self-awareness and to the awareness of this human life. So let's begin with chapter 1. Chapter 1 is titled, Who Maintains the Record of Sins and Virtues? Now, often we might have heard that if we do so and so deed, we will rot in hell, or if we do such and such good deed, we will go to heaven when we die. But what is this hell and heaven? Or who is really taking a record of what good deed or bad deed are we really doing? So, what is this all about? Let's read further. A verse in the scriptures states that a suppressed conscience takes one to hell and an awakened conscience leads to heaven. This statement explains the enigma of heaven and hell, that is, an individual himself is responsible for creating heaven and hell in his life. Scriptures like the Garuda Puran describe this phenomena metaphorically. It is mentioned that in the astral world called Yamlok, there lives a deity named Chitragupt who maintains the record of good and evil deeds of a sentient being. When a living being dies and its soul enters the astral world, this deity represents the record of its good and evil deeds, and based on this account, the soul is assigned to live in heaven or hell. Common sense would not accept existence of a deity like Chitragupt. So here it is written that in our old scriptures like the Garuda Puran, there is an astral world which is different from this world which is different from the earthly world. It is the world where we go after we die, or the afterlife world. It is called the Yamlok. We know that Devta Yam is the god of death. In Hindu scriptures, Yam is called the god of death. So Yamlok is the world where the god of death takes us after we die. There lives a deity called Chitragupt. This is a popular opinion that this deity Chitragupt is the one that maintains the record of sins and virtues of a man done in his millions and millions of lives. Also, Gurudev mentions that a suppressed conscience takes one to hell, which means that if we are suppressing our conscience, or if we are not living fully, or if we are not living in absolute alignment with our conscience, with our soul, that will take us to hell. Or in other words, that also means we have not awakened our consciousness. But an awakened consciousness leads us to heaven. An awakened consciousness is nothing but if we are self-aware, if we know the true nature of our being, if we know what is the purpose of taking this form in human life, that is meant by an awakened consciousness. Also, these astral worlds, Yamlok, Chitragupt, the deity, heaven and hell, these are just metaphoric expressions. We will come to that later, but right now Gurudev also mentions earlier, this is a phenomena that is described metaphorically for us to understand the true nature of human life. Let's read further now. The number of human beings inhabiting this earth itself is in billions. If we take into account the other living beings of millions of non-human species, the total number would be beyond mathematical calculation. This is so true. We just understood that there is a deity called Chitragupt, by popular opinion, that lives in the Yamlok, in the astral world, which is supposedly, apparently keeping track of each and every sin and each and every virtue of every man. Now Gurudev explains, if we start counting all the human beings which are above 6 million in number, and if we also start counting the millions and millions of non-human species like the insects, the reptiles, the birds, the fish, the animals who can walk and fly and swim, then it would be beyond mathematical calculation for one deity called Chitragupt to keep a correct account or a right track of their sins and virtues. It would be an impossible task for an individual to work day and night without rest for millions of years, maintaining records of each moment of life of innumerable beings of the cosmos. impracticability of maintenance of such a stupendous record puts a question mark on the very existence of Chitragupta. Now here Gurudev is actually questioning the popular opinion of the existence of the deity of Chitragupta given the Herculean task that he is supposed to be doing, which actually sounds logical. Let's read further. Modern science, however, substantiates the reality underlying the metaphorical descriptions given in the scriptures. Science has now established that all mental, verbal, and physical activities carried out by an individual having a discriminative mind leave subtle impressions on the deeper levels of the psyche. In this way, like the compressed audiovisual recordings of events on a microchip of the computer or a compact disc, all the good and evil deeds are being recorded in the secret chambers of the subconscious mind. This record, like a CD, remains in storage till it is required to be played at a desired moment through an appropriate mechanism. Since time immemorial, enlightened persons in India have wondered about the role of fate in human life. Sanskrit and Hindi literature has abundant references to the footprints of karma, which it is said cannot be erased by any degree of intellectual endeavor. So now here Gurudev tries to explain that because Chitragupta is being a single person is unable to maintain such innumerable records of so many millions and billions of beings. Therefore, it is actually not one person sitting outside doing this task. It is actually our subconscious mind that is recording all our lives, all our deeds, all our sins, and all our virtues, just like a microchip in a computer records and stores data. And this can also be later played whenever needed through an appropriate mechanism. And that, my friends, is the fundamental law of karma, that is one of the most basic principles in Sanatan Dharma.
हमारे YouTube चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल आइकन पर क्लिक कीजिए ताकि आने वाली सभी वीडियो की नोटिफिकेशन आपको मिलती रहे। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत थैंक यू।